What up? Instagram got you way back there. There we go. What's going on, y'all? And LinkedIn and the Abs in April 4-day challengers. What is going on, y'all? Once y'all jump in, I want you to comment below. Let me know how you feeling. Let me know how the day has been. Give me a muscle emoji down in the comments if you smash your workouts. What up, 91 Bryant over on Instagram? What's going on, you guys, over on LinkedIn and YouTube? Like I said, comment below. Let me know you're here. Let me know what you guys got going on. Let me know if you got a workout in. I need to see that muscle emoji down below. And if you haven't trained yet today, I want you to let me know what time you plan on working out. And if you don't plan on working out, you better have a good excuse and a good reason why you're not getting it in. What's up, Alfano? Let me know if I said that right, my man. You guys over here on YouTube and LinkedIn, let me know how you're feeling. Let me know how you're feeling. But as you guys can see, we're having a very good conversation today about the three workout mistakes. What up, Arkeem? Stopping you from dropping belly fat. The three biggest workout mistakes stopping you from dropping belly fat. Now, I know, I'll preface this by saying before we ever dive into this, you cannot spot reduce any specific area of fat. If you hate your belly fat and you want to get rid of it, or if you're maybe it's your arms, or maybe it's your legs, maybe it's your glutes, whatever the case may be, and you want to get rid of fat in that area, you cannot target a specific place. So that's really what we're going to dive into. I want to dive too deep into that. What's up, Denzel? What's going on, man? I want to dive too deep into that. What's up over on YouTube? I got you as Easy Champs over on YouTube. So let me know your real name, man, so I know exactly who I'm talking to. But I don't want to dive too deep into that because we're going to talk about it. But I just wanted to preface this conversation by saying if you think that you're about to get like some magic secret, this magic trick to just snap your belly fat away instantly in your workouts, that's not exactly what we're going to talk about. But we are going to help you figure out why you start to work out and you lose weight, and everywhere else on your body you start to drop fat everywhere else on the body except your midsection. So we're gonna have a conversation about what up, Kyson. Got my brother-in-law. I don't know what you want with some losing some belly fat, but it's cool for you to tune in and listen. What's going on, big man? But yeah, we're gonna dive into this. We're gonna go ahead and talk about it. Alfano says, my problem is I need muscle mass and you need to strengthen. That's a conversation that we're literally about to have right now. So I'm glad that you brought that point up. All right. So let's dive in. Let's get it. So first off, want you guys to, let me see, make sure I'm in the right place. All right. First off, I want you guys to let me know how long you've been working out or in the gym, or if you're currently in the gym. What's up, Rick? If you're currently in the gym, you're currently working out, I want you to let me know how consistent you've been over the last couple of, let's say this year. Over this last year, I want you to let me know, like, hey, I've been going 5 days a week for the last, 6 months, or I haven't really been going that much. I want you guys to let me know, kind of give me a feel for how consistent you've been in your workouts. Yesterday, we talked about food primarily. So today I really want to talk about working out, talk about your exercise, help you figure out, where your biggest room for opportunity lie. So first off, and the three mistakes that you're making that are causing you to drop fat everywhere but the midsection. Number one, you're probably doing too much way too soon. You're probably doing too much way too soon. What this means is you're jumping into your workouts and you're basically going from couch potato to workout warrior. And guess what happens? You go back to a couch potato because eventually you end up basically you're working out and you exhaust yourself. Like you go into the gym, you haven't worked out in months, and you're going in and you're feeling good and like, oh, I still got a little bit of energy. I still got, like, you keep going and keep going. And it's a 2 hour workout. It's a 2.5 hour workout. You hit every single machine in the gym, or you did every single exercise you could think of. And then what happens? You get home the next day, or you get home, and the next day you can barely move. The next day you can barely walk. You're debilitated because of how hard you went day one, doing all the exercises that you remember, doing your football exercises and things like that. And what happens is you're either going to get hurt or you're quickly going to burn out. And what happens when you start off that way is it's always that's the same. Starting off extremely strong with an unsustainable regimen is the same thing as having a very restrictive diet. So what that means is the restrictive diet, you'll follow it for a week or two, but then you'll fall off because it's so restrictive and hard to follow. Your training program is going to be so stressful. It's going to be so physically taxing and demanding that you're going to fall off in the next couple of weeks. You're going to fall off before you get a chance to really build any consistency, and you may even get hurt in the process. And that's one of the biggest things that I see a lot of guys do when they first start off their journey, because we move with a lot of ego. We have a lot of what we beat our chest and we talk about what we used to do. I couldn't imagine how many guys have probably we had a conversation and they're like, "Oh, I used to be an athlete." It's the first thing they say. "Oh, I used to be an athlete, so I know what to do. I used to play this, so I played Division I this, so I know." Like, no, you don't. Just because you were an athlete, or just even if you worked out in the past 20 years ago or 30 years ago, that you don't know anything about health and fitness just because you used to be an athlete, or just because you used to work out back in the past. What's up, Garrett? That does not equate to having a healthy body. That does not equate to building lean muscle or burning body fat. How you train athletically is just for performance in that particular sport. But a lot of times as guys, we like to say, "Oh, well, I used to be an athlete." What up, Marco? "I used to be an athlete, so I know what to do. I'm just not doing it." Let me know if y'all have ever raised your hand if you've ever said it. I think like 5 out of 10, every 10 guys I talk to, it's about 50% always say that same thing. So somebody has to have that thought right now. "I used to be an athlete, so I know what to do. I'm just not doing it." Like, no, you're training athletically, or what you used to do when you were 25 years old is not the same way that you need to approach your health and fitness at 35, 45, 55, 65. So you have to get rid of that mindset. You have to stop trying to do too much too soon, because all that's going to do is get you burned out, it's going to get you hurt, and it's going to get you back on the couch for months at a time and constantly falling on again and off again and on again and off again, which doesn't make anybody any progress at all. And then number two is that you're doing only isolation workouts. So what this means is that you're going into the gym and you're only working on specific areas of the body that you want to work on and improve on. And the issue with that is it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that in any aspect of life. There are pros and cons. There are things that just come with the territory of anything. Whether it be, if you're building a house, you may really want a nice kitchen. You may want a man cave. You may want the nice bathrooms. You want you may want these three things, but you got to build the foundation. You got to make sure all the other stuff is situated. I don't know too much about building a house. I don't even know why I use that analogy, but it's the same concept. Like, just because you want a nice kitchen doesn't mean that you can just start, like, you got an empty plot of land. You're like, "I really want a nice kitchen in this house." And you just start building the kitchen right there on the plot of land. Like, you got to build the foundation around it. And my God, Jermaine says, "You're not lying. That's how I destroyed my knee." The squat rack. Yeah, the squat rack. That's a big thing too. Like, knowing the amount of weight that you used to be able to use, like that does not serve the current iteration of you, the current you that just wants to drop fat, that wants to lean out, that wants to be healthy, that wants to be confident with their shirt off, that wants to be confident going to the beach, that wants to feel better, that wants to have energy. Like, you lifting 300-400 pounds, that no longer serves the current iteration of you. Maybe the ex-athlete you, but the current person that you are doesn't need to train like that in order to get where you want to be. But going back to those isolation exercises, a lot of us make that mistake. And what isolation exercises mean is that the muscle group you want to work, like your bicep, for instance, you go in and like, "I really want some nice biceps." So I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna do just bicep curls, and I'll do the bicep machine, and I'll do some more pull stuff. Like I'll do my bicep work, or it's like, oh, I really want to work on my abs, so let me do some side ab, which is one of the world's most ineffective exercises. Let me do some side ab crunches, or let me do some, leg raises. Let me do some ab work, things like that. It's the mindset that you can isolate and target a specific muscle group, and only do that and build it and tone it and tighten and strength. Like it takes a well-rounded training program with compound lifts, which means that you work multiple muscle groups at one time. And this right here is really the secret to dropping the belly fat, because if you're utilizing two muscle groups at the same time, that means the core is automatically involved. Your core is automatically involved anytime two muscle groups come into play, because the only way that those muscle groups can move with weight loaded on them is if your core is holding you in place and stabilizing you. So that's going to be things like your back squat, but obviously at a much lower, safer rate, safer pace. We're not trying to max out. We're not trying to go crazy. We're not trying to lift like Aaron Donald. We're basic mobility focused, really focusing on hypertrophy, building muscle in that area, but not necessarily trying to load up every plate in the gym. Your different bench presses, but utilizing form, not ego lifting. Most of us, if I ask you how much you bench, and you probably say a number that's, oh, I bench 225 or 205 or this or that. Like in reality, you probably bench, if your form is accurate, your hands are in the right places, you're really slowing down with your tempo and really focusing on the mind muscle connection, you probably bench 135 pounds, 185 pounds. And that's completely fine because the numbers don't matter anymore. How much you're lifting doesn't matter anymore. Or how many plates you're loading doesn't matter anymore. What up, Mari? It's all about, am I getting the benefit that I need and that I want out of this exercise? So we got to take our egos out of it. And we also got to start training the other muscle groups in our body. Training the other muscle groups in our body, getting away from isolating certain areas, because like I said, you need you need a foundation and you need a whole house to be built. You cannot have this amazing kitchen. You got this island, you got the nice cabinetry, you got the double oven, you got the multiple fridge, like you got the crazy setup in the kitchen, but around it is like a shanty town. It's like a mud house around it, because you're not training your body efficiently. And guess what's going to happen? That kitchen ain't going to hold up. The kitchen ain't going to hold up if that's the only part that you're building and you're working on. So if you really want to build a well-rounded physique that's helping you drop belly fat, you have to prioritize compound lifts that work multiple muscle groups at one time. You'll also save a ton of time in the gym as well, because now instead of working one muscle group for 3 sets and then another muscle group for 3 sets and then another muscle group for 3 sets, now we combine 2, 3, 4 different muscle groups, and now we can work and we can train 30 to 45 minutes, and all of our muscles were targeted and activated, and we're going to build, grow, tone, and strengthen all of those muscle groups in one exercise, as opposed to having to break it up into multiple exercises. And this is how my best guys are in the gym 30 to 45 minutes a day and getting amazing results. It doesn't take it doesn't take 2 hours, 3 hours in the gym 5-6 days a week in order to get to your goals, if your exercise selection is efficient and that you know how to utilize it, which is my last point, that you're working out. Number 3, in terms of the mistakes that we're making in terms of dropping belly fat in our workouts, is that we are working out instead of training. You may be thinking, like, what's the difference? Isn't working out and training the same thing, just different words? No, it is not. 1000% is not the same thing. Working out is, let me get in here and go to the gym. Let me break a sweat real quick. Let me go put in some work real quick. Or no pain, no gain. Grind, don't stop. Like, that's working out. That mindset, that focus, that work, that's working out. I don't know about y'all, but I can't do that every day. Like, every once in a while, I may be cool with a workout, but that's not like I got to be cool. Like, I got businesses to run. I got 70 plus clients to tend to, got a wife, about to have a kid, got friends, family. Like, I can't have that mind. I can't go in the gym 3-4 hours a day I can't be the gym rat guy. I've never been a gym rat guy, but I definitely can't be that now. So my mindset needs to be much more focused on, just like in everything in my life, and I'm sure that you guys feel the same way. You want to know that you're getting some sort of, you want to know what the benefit of your effort is. You guys have limited time in a day. You got to tend to your family, to your business, to your job, to your spouse. Like, you have a lot to juggle. And the last thing you want to do is spend and waste a bunch of time working out or trying to prep meals or whatever the case may be. So you need to know that everything you're doing, how exactly is benefiting you. And that's where the difference between working out and training comes in. Working out is you just go to the gym and you play around and you do some stuff, and oh, I picked this up and I did this for a little bit, I did that for a little bit. Every time I talk to guys on the phone that are interested in joining the tribe, it's always, oh, well, I go to the gym and I do a little bit of this and I do a little bit of that, and I do a little bit of this, a little bit. Like, okay, so you work out but you don't really train. Training is going into the gym with direction. Training is going into the gym with a specific goal in mind for each individual exercise, for each individual rep, for each individual set, for each individual workout. Training means that every time you go work out, you know exactly what you just improved at, and you know exactly, what up, Jared? You know exactly what what the purpose was of that workout. You get what I'm saying? Like, you're not just working out to work out, which, don't get me wrong, that's better than not doing it at all. But if you really want to make the type of progress that you want to make, like, you want to look good, like you want to feel good, like you want a transformation, like you want to get back to feeling how you felt at 20, 25 years old. You want to get back to having energy. You want to get back to being confident. Like, if you want to get back there, you have to transition from working out to training, meaning that when you go into the gym, you should know how much weight you lifted last week, and you should be trying to beat that the next week. You should understand what muscle groups you're working on with each exercise selection you do. You should really be focusing on the mind muscle connection in those areas so that your form is dialed in. You should be working on your recovery to make sure that you're not, burning yourself out, that you're not putting too much stress on joints, ligaments, tendons. You should also know where you can expect to see improvements at, because of the work that you're doing on a day after day after day basis. What's up, Tierra? What up, James? You should know what's going on in your training. You should treat your training. I know a lot. I follow a lot of entrepreneurs. I'm connected to a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of guys that may be like in sales type positions where you basically are an entrepreneur yourself. Even if you work for a company, if you're in a sales-based position, you're basically an entrepreneur. So I know that this will resonate with you, but your training should be set up like a business. Your training should be set up like a business. You only have a certain amount of dollars to allocate to specific areas and still be profitable. So that should be the same mindset in your training. What is going to get me the most long-term profitability for the hours or the minutes or the days or the weeks that I'm going to spend in the gym, or spend working out, or spend focused on this, or spend focused on that? And also, how can I build a training system in a way that allows me to scale? So what that means is, can I duplicate this 10 times and continue to grow and continue to build? Can I increase upon whatever return I'm going to get for this particular effort right here? If I do this one time, will I benefit from it again in a couple of days? Will I benefit from it again in a couple of weeks? Like, that's the type of mindset that you need to have. And if you think about your workouts like that, you will go away from things like I said, bicep curls and just throwing stuff together and doing cardio, which long term is not beneficial for fat loss, because of the fact that you can't scale it. You can't scale cardio. The reason you can't scale cardio is the reason why you can't get rich working hour to hour. You can't get rich charging an hourly rate, because you only have so many hours in a day. So the same thing with working out. You can't do a bunch of cardio and expect to scale that, because you can only do cardio for so long in the day. You can only do cardio for so long in the day, meaning that if you plug away 30 minutes a day, as hard as you can possibly go, just going 30 minutes. Eventually, your body will get used to that and you won't drop any more fat. So then you take it up to an hour, going, an hour a day. Eventually, your body gets used to that and it won't make you more progress. So now you're up to an hour and 30 minutes. So now it's cutting into your meeting time. Now it's cutting into your lunch time. Now it's cutting into your family time. Now it's cutting into time with kids. Now you're having to get up an extra 30 minutes just to do something that you hate, that makes you feel terrible afterward. You feel sluggish. You feel tired. You feel low energy because you're running your muscle off. And what happens long term is your metabolism starts to dip down because you're running your lean muscle off, which is actually what keeps your metabolism running high anyway. So if you want to get the most return and bang for your buck in every single workout, strength training and building muscle should be your priority. So the biggest takeaway from this conversation is that the best way to drop belly fat is to build muscle. The best way to drop belly fat in your workouts is to focus on building muscle. If you make that your focus in your workouts instead of trying to lose weight, then you will start to see the progress that you wanted to see. You will start to build the physique that you wanted to build. But if you're only focused, like I tell the guys in my tribe all the time, like your workouts should have nothing to do with fat loss. You shouldn't be worried about fat loss at all in your workout. You should be worried about strength. You should be worried about mobility. And you should be worried about performance. Strength, mobility, and performance are the only things you should be worried about in your training. You should be focused on getting stronger and building more lean muscle, because the biggest reason that guys, especially, over 35, you start to, hit 35, 40, 55, that range, the biggest reason it gets harder to drop fat is not necessarily because you're eating more. It's not because you're just pigging out. It's most likely because you're losing and wearing away your lean muscle over the years. And when your lean muscle starts to deteriorate, that's when your metabolism starts to dip down. And that's where you start to see there's body fat in places where you haven't ever had body fat at before. Like your clothes fit weird now. You've never experienced these issues before, but it's because your metabolism is taking a nosedive throughout the years because you're not prioritizing building lean muscle. And every time you go on your health kick, you do green smoothies and salads and 100 calories of chicken breast, and you go run your brains out for hours and hours a day, and it's just messing up your metabolism. It's wearing away your lean muscle, which is making it harder and harder and harder for you to get to where you want to get to. So if you want to build a physique that you're proud of, if you want to get healthy, if you want to get rid of that stubborn fat, then prioritize building lean muscle in your training with compound lifts, with making sure that you are hitting each muscle group 2 to 3 times a week, which means that at max, or at the very least, you only need to train 3 times a week. So don't believe that you got to be in the gym every single day. Don't believe that you need to be in the gym for 2 or 3 hours a day. 30 to 45 minutes a day, 3 to 5 days a week is all you need of compound lifts. So every single workout, you should have a workout in there that works on multiple muscle groups. You should have a workout or 2 in there that works on multiple muscle groups at one time. You could throw some isolation stuff in there if you just really have some groups that you want to tone up and build and bring up. But the majority of your workouts should be focused on those compound lifts like lat pull downs, rows, back squats, lunges, front squats, leg presses, bench presses, dumbbell or barbell, little thing or big things like that. And then you supplement it with the little exercises, the little muscle groups like your biceps, your shoulders, stuff like that, to really bring up those areas. So that is it, fellas. I appreciate every single one of you guys for tuning in. I kind of got a little bit off track with my script here, but I just wanted you guys to kind of make that distinction. Like if I could scream it from the rooftops to help every guy that was really wanting to drop fat and get healthier, if I could help you guys understand anything, it would be to focus on building muscle in your workouts, and then you focus on fat loss in your nutrition. But I honestly wouldn't even just say that. I think you should focus on fat loss and building muscle in your nutrition, but you definitely shouldn't focus on fat loss in your workouts. Stop working out to lose fat and start working out to build muscle. And that's going to be how you build the physique that you want to build. So And once again, I appreciate y'all tuning in. Please let me know your number one takeaway in the comments. I want you to tag another guy, that dude that you go to the gym with all the time, or the dude that you talk about going to the gym with all the time, or talk about starting a diet with all the time, and you guys never end up doing it. I want you to tag him in this post so that you guys can finally get the ball rolling and get where you want to be with the right and most accurate information. So I appreciate y'all. Y'all make sure to work hard and grind. And I'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.